Hi, my name's Matt, and welcome back to Just Making It. We all know that fertilizer costs have gone up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spread manure to help cut that cost. So that's what we're going to do today. And then later on in the video, I am going to show you how to build the ultimate fencer controller to keep your livestock in your electric fence. So come along with me. We're going to start up the manure spreader first, loosen things up, and then we're going to start spreading manure. Today I'm going to use the 6405 John Deere, and this is the H&S 310 spreader. And what I like to do, I like to run it. We're going to run it, loosen things up. It sat for a little while, not too long. You can see I had manure in it. But I want to get the chains moving, I want to get the auger moving, because when things sit, and then, you know, if you put a load in there, you don't know if anything's broke or it's going to break. So I like to loosen things up and get things moving. Here's the loader tractor I'm going to use today, the 5510 four-wheel drive front-end loader. And we're going to be putting it in the manure spreader. Well, I would say that's a full load. Now, as you can see, this manure, it's going to be nice to spread. It's chunky. I always say there's three types of manure. You've got your runny manure, you've got your clump and chunky manure, like this, and then you got your manure that's been sitting around for a while. It's sort of like peat moss. This is the kind of manure I like to spread in this kind of spreader right here. So let's go out in the field, let's get her done. Boy, I had to come back and take another whiff. This is that honeysuckle, and there's bees all over it, but boy does it smell good. It doesn't quite smell as good as this though. Where I'm spreading this manure used to be corn. You can see the corn stubbles. And then to the right here, I have rye. I'm going to make straw out of this rye. But this field here is going to be hay. So I can put it down pretty thick because I'm going to be disc chiseling this with the 1486 International here pretty soon. So I can afford to lay it down. And we'll just disc it right in, plow it right in the ground. Well, that's the very first load. Let's see how we did here. And the nice thing about it is, one manure spread full went the whole length of the field that I'm spreading. So that works out nice. Yeah, it looks good. That'll make that hay grow. Would you say this tire's dry rotted? I've got some backup tires just in case. On my way back to get another load of manure, I figured I'd stop and show you my corn. It is coming up right there. It's about 5 inches. It's June 17th. It might be knee-high by the 4th of July. We'll see. But if you can recall, this is where I had that rye, and it's shooting right up. Here we got load number 2. It's going well. Let's head to the field. Manure spreader, you have a rope. This rope, you can go from low speed to high speed to clean out. What we're going to do is I'm going to take it, that's high, we're going to go to clean out. What that'll do is that will stop the beater from turning, and it will speed up my chain just to clean out the bed. See that? You want that to do a couple rotations to get that manure out of there if you're going to have this sitting for a while. And another good thing to do is knock down any manure, you know, like this here. Knock it off before you put it away. I plan on using my manure spreader a lot more, so we'll be using it here in the near future. And if you're wondering what these hydraulic hoses are for, this is actually just for my gate. That's all that's for. This is called a slop gate, and if you run into manure that's really sloppy, runny, it can hold it in the manure spreader instead of having it flow right out. It holds it in. So you got to have this up in the air when you're running these, or you know, it could jam up right there. Now you could see where I have, or where I had, a top beater. See this right here? I had a top beater on this, but I had a jam up. I had a jam up one day, and it sort of tore this apart. So I never put the top beater back on. But the top beaters, what they do is they actually make it finer. So if you are spreading, you know, a well-established hay field, it would spread that manure out finer. Okay, for the people out there that have never seen the inside of a manure spreader, here you go. We've got a chain on that side, a chain on this side, and we have these slats in the middle. Obviously, the manure spreader is ran by the PTO off the tractor. There's a shaft that goes through, and there's a main gearbox way in the back here that operates this. It's really heavy duty, but this spins. You've seen it spinning. So the chain actually takes the manure that's sitting on it and brings it back and pushes it into these flaps. These flaps take it and throw it into the air. And that's how a manure spreader works. There's different kinds of manure spreaders too. They have what they call hydro push, where there's a big cylinder that pushes the manure back and it just keeps pushing. This one has the chains. Now, when you buy a manure spreader, you want to look at those links. See those links right there? I've had the best luck with those kind of links. I've had T-links, I've had them all. These links here are the most durable, and that's my just personal opinion. On the back of this manure spreader, okay, this is horizontal. They have vertical now. So if you take this and stand it up, usually there's two of them. So you have the vertical and horizontal. And then there is what they called the side delivery, where the manure comes out on the side and shoots out. So you can see how the beater is spreading it. Not too bad. I mean, this manure is pretty dry, so it's breaking up pretty good. But if you had a top beater, it makes it more fine. Just spreads it out a little bit nicer. Well, that's enough about manure spreading. Let's go check on the cows. Let's go see how they're doing. I think we had a calf. Inferno! What's up, buddy? Looks like Inferno's doing good. Here's some of the spring calves right here. They're all getting big. Hi, buddy. Inferno's trying to breed that brown cow right there. And he's waiting for the right time. See him just standing next to her? He's waiting for the right time to jump on her. Actually, I know what he's doing. He's waiting for her to go for water because the pond's over here. And when she goes for water, watch what he does. Look at that. Inferno went for water and jelly rolls on her. Old Jelly Roll just pulled a fast one on Inferno. Inferno went for the water and Jelly Roll jumped on the cow. He's a sneaky one. I know a cow had a calf about 2 days ago and I've been trying to find it to put the tag on it. Well, I can't find it, so the best thing to do is just back away and in the evening hours come back out and see where that cow goes. Well, we're over here on the fence line, and the first thing you need to do is pick a good location. Right here, I'm on the fence line. You can see the posts. The trees are way over there, so I'm getting a lot of sun right here. And we are going to use a solar panel, so it's going to be facing south. There's no obstructions in the way. It's going to get a lot of sunlight. Over here on the wagon, this is the ingredients right here. You're going to need a nice wagon, you know, to make the station portable. You're going to need a nice marine deep cycle battery. This is a 12 volt. That works good. Then I got my ground pipes here, 2 of them. I think they're 8 foot by 5/8. And then obviously you're going to need your solar panel. This is 100 watt. You can get those like at Harbor Freight or online. I got a pipe here. I'm going to show you what that pipe's for. This is a hand post pounder. I'm going to be using that, but I'm also going to be using the tractor. You'll see what I do. And here is the fencer that I'm using, a Cyclops Champ, 5 joules. This is a DC. And then we got some wire here. You'll see what I use that wire for. Now, another thing you're going to need is a nice box. It's got to be waterproof, seals up nice. I like to use the handles on the side to make it tight. Another thing you're going to need is a solar charge regulator so your batteries don't fry up, and it controls the amount of current. And then you're going to need copper wire. I use copper wire for my ground wire. 25 foot I got. And then 2 clamps, because we're going to have 2 ground pipes. So there you go. Once you get all the supplies that you need, it'll last a long time. And you could go out and you could buy these little fencers that they have at the store, you know, but they're just not strong enough. Sometimes they're not dependable. This thing here, I guarantee you, it will hold any animal you put behind that wire. The first thing I'm going to do is put my grounding rods in the ground. So I just shoved them in by hand. We've got 2 here. I'm going to space them out about like that. Now I'm going to use the hand pounder. That's why I brought this. Okay, I'm going to use the 4-wheeler to get up on so I get to the top of that pipe and pound it down. I'll go down as far as I can go. We'll see, there's probably rocks and stuff. You want to try to get these down really as far as you can go. Got my 2 ground pipes in the ground. Got one right here and right there. And no, I did not pound those all the way in. I hit some rocks. So I went as far as I could go and I cut them off. I just moved the wagon into place. I got it so it's facing south, the panels. That's perfect right there. So there's our wagon. Here's our ground bars in the ground. Now we got to put our pipe in the ground, and we're going to put it right here in front of this wagon. And what that's going to do is hold the wagon in place in case if we had high winds. Nothing's going to move. My lovely assistant here, Lisa, is holding the pipe for me. We're going to push it in with the tractor. Okay, Lisa, you can move. Now what I like to do, I'm going to take some of this wire, electrical wire, fencer wire. I'm going to wrap it around that pipe and that wagon, just in case. You don't want the wagon to flip over during high winds or anything like that. We'll just wrap it around. That'll hold that wagon into place right there, that wire. Okay, the next thing we could do, we could put our solar panels on the wagon. There's these little kickstands here Just open them up, and that supplies you, that will give you the angle that we're going to need here. We're just going to go right like that. Perfect. Okay, on the back side of this solar panel, there's a little hole right here. I'm going to go ahead and put wire through that. We're going to go down. Feed that through. Now I can wrap it around the wagon. There we go. That'll hold that to that wagon. Just going to wrap that around there like that. Doesn't have to look good. See, that'll hold that down in case we get high winds. So I'll put another piece on the other side, just like that. Okay, we'll just let those sit there. Just get them on there right now. And we'll just let them sit there. Okay. Okay, now it's time to put our battery and our fencer in the box. Alright, after we get the battery and the fencer in, we want to hook up the solar charge regulator. And this says on it, battery and solar. So I've got my gator clips here. This is going to hook up to the battery. There's the connection. And we're going to put it on battery. Okay. Next, we're going to take, this is from the solar panel right here, the end. Show them where that is. Okay, that's coming from the solar panel. And I created a notch right here in my box so that the water can't get into the box, but I can put the wire through it. So I'm going to shove it through there. And then I'm going to connect this to the regulator under solar. We're going to plug that in like that. There. Okay, now I'm going to put the gator clips on my battery. Red on positive. And you can see that it is charging the battery. See that light on right there? Charging. So right now the solar panels are charging my battery. And since that's a new battery, it probably doesn't need charge, but it's going to indicate that it is charging. Now on my fencer here, I've got ground and I've got fence. So I need to connect a wire from my fencer to the actual fence. And then I need to connect my ground here to the rods I put in the ground to create the ground. Alright, now I've got cable that I cut that I'm going to use for my power cable. We're going to put it through the hole in the box that I created. And then this is going to be for the fence. So I'm going to stick that in there like that. And I'm going to wrap this around here just to create good contact. About like that. And I'm going to screw this down. Okay. So now, here's my power cord. And it's the power cord that I just got done hooking up to the fencer. We're going to go over here. And we're going to hook it up to my fence. And this is going to transmit the power through the fence. So I'm just going to wrap this around here like this. There. Okay, there you go. I connected it. Now I got my power cord connected to my fencer and to my fence. Now we got to connect the ground. I got my copper wire here. This is going to be my ground wire. Okay, I'm going to take my ground, just like I did the other wires, and go through that hole I made. And then I'm going to come back around, and I'm going to go into the ground side. Oops. Just like that. Okay. I like to put a little bend on the end here for good contact. Just about like that. Okay. All right, here's what we got so far. We've got our gator clips hooked to our battery that are connected to our solar charge regulator. Our solar charge regulator is connected to the solar panels. So we've got power going through right now to the gator clips to charge the battery. But as you can see over here, we've got the gator clips to the fencer that we still need to attach to the battery. But we have to finish up hooking our ground wire to our ground rods. I have the ground wire hooked up to the fencer. I've got the power cable hooked up to the fencer to the fence going out. Connected right there. So now we need to connect our copper wire to our two rods in the ground. We've got the ground, we've got the power cord, we've got the battery all connected. Let me show you the ground wire I hooked up. Going along the ground here, we've got that hooked up to that rod. Then we travel over and we hook it up to that rod real nice. Our grounds are hooked up. We've got our main line going to our fence right there. Here's the question. When I hook these up, this box should snap or click. That means it's working. So here we go. We're going to go positive and we're going to go negative. Listen. Yep. It's clicking. Now let's go ahead and put our tester on and see if we have power. You can see my fence line. It is all weedy. The bottom wire is completely in weeds. All the way up and down. I got to do some weed whacking here. But let's just see if we're getting power in the line. It's going to probably be on the low side. Yeah, we're reading 4.7. And on the bottom, 4.6. So we know it's going through evenly. It's just all that grass we got growing around the wire. So we know it works. And it's going to be strong once we get the weeds off the wire. So now my last step is to cover the box. You do not want water in here. If there is water that goes in there, it'll get in your fencer box. You got your regulator sitting there. So you want to be careful. We've got all good connections on our gator clips. Over this. Make sure it's on tight. This is really important to do this, to get this all tight. Okay. There we go. There you go. It's waterproof. And we got this project done. Well, we're lowering cost. I put manure out in the field to lower the fertilizer bill, and we put this fencer together to lower the electric bill. I just want to say thanks again for watching Just Making It, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.